The soft, hesitant rap at the door was a gentle intrusion into the pre-dawn hush. "Alara, are you stirring, sweet pea?" A voice, laced with both tenderness and a hint of suppressed excitement, floated through the thin wood. "Yeah, Mom." "I'm up," came the sleepy, muffled reply, the words still thick with dreams. The door creaked open, revealing a woman whose eyes held the same warmth as the rising sun filtering through the window. A smile, as comforting as a familiar blanket, graced her lips. She moved with quiet grace, perching on the edge of the bed, the mattress dipping slightly under her weight. "Today's the day, my love. How's that heart of yours feeling?" Alara sat up, raking fingers through a cascade of tangled, strawberry blonde hair. Nervous, elated, utterly terrified, all of the above, and then some. A nervous giggle escaped her, a fragile sound in the quiet room. Her mother chuckled, a soft, reassuring melody, and reached out to entwine her fingers with Alara's. "That, my dear, is perfectly normal. Remember what we've always said? We're all here, right beside you, every step of the way. This, Alara, is your moment to truly bloom." A small, hopeful smile began to blossom on Alara's lips. "Thanks, Mom. I honestly don't know how I'd navigate any of this without you guys." "Nonsense," her mother chided gently, squeezing her hand. "But since you insist on giving us credit, let's get you ready. I laid out your outfit last night, and I've got my magic wand, otherwise known as my makeup brush, at the ready. Do you want the full transformation?" Alara nodded, her eyes shining with an almost childlike eagerness. "Yes, please. Every detail. I want everything to be utterly perfect." As her mother exited the room, leaving a faint scent of lavender in her wake, Alara swung her legs out of bed. Her feet found the cool wood of the floor, and she padded over to the full-length mirror, a silent sentinel in the corner. The reflection staring back at her was a canvas in progress. Masculine angles, once dominant, were now softened by the growing length of her hair, which framed a face caught between the echoes of yesterday and the promise of tomorrow. Her body, too, was a landscape in transition, a testament to the journey she had already begun. But today, those subtle ambiguities wouldn't matter. Today, Alara would step into the vibrant sunlight, unfurling her true self for the world to see. Hanging on the closet door, a beacon of hope and audacious possibility, was a leotard, a vibrant symphony of pink and blue sequins. Alara reached out, her fingers tracing the smooth, cool fabric, her heart swelling with a tide of anticipation. This was more than just an outfit. It was a declaration, a bold statement of identity, a visual anthem to the woman she had always known herself to be. Downstairs, the kitchen hummed with a symphony of morning sounds. The sizzle of bacon, the gentle clinking of ceramic on wood, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingling with the sweet promise of maple syrup, created a comforting, familiar embrace. Her father, a sturdy anchor in the family, stood at the stove, expertly flipping golden brown pancakes, a contented smile playing on his lips. Her younger sister, Maya, a whirlwind of youthful energy, meticulously arranged plates and cutlery on the worn farmhouse table. "Morning, everyone," Alara called out, her voice a little brighter than before, as she descended the stairs, each step a descent into her new reality. Her father turned, spatula still in hand, his face breaking into a wide, beaming grin. "There's our star. Ready for her grand debut, are we?" Alara nodded, a shy but confident smile gracing her lips, and settled into a chair at the table. "As ready as I'll ever be." Maya, ever the thoughtful one, slid a plate piled high with fluffy pancakes across the table. "You're going to be absolutely incredible, Alara. I can't wait to see you out there, shining so brightly." The family settled into an easy rhythm of excited chatter, discussing the parade route, the anticipated crowds, and the day's plans. Yet, amidst the lively conversation, one chair remained conspicuously empty, a silent void at the bustling table. "Where's Liam?" Alara asked, a flicker of unease rippling through her. She glanced at the vacant spot, a familiar pang of longing mixed with apprehension. A subtle flicker of discomfort passed between her parents, a fleeting shadow across their faces. Her father cleared his throat, the sound a little too loud in the sudden quiet. He, decided to go to that classic car show instead. You know how he is with crowds. And, well, it's just not really his thing, is it? Ilara's face fell, just a fraction, a fragile crack in her mourning armor, but she quickly mustered a recovery, pushing the disappointment down. Oh, well, that's okay. I'm just so glad you'll all be there. Her mother reached across the table, her hand finding Ilara's and squeezing it, a silent promise of unwavering support. We wouldn't miss it for the world, sweetheart. Not for anything. After breakfast, the house transformed into a hive of joyful activity. Ilara disappeared upstairs with her mother, embarking on the final stages of her transformation, while her father and Maya, armed with balloons and streamers, turned the living room into a vibrant celebration. Today wasn't just about the parade. It was also Ilara's birthday, a double milestone shimmering with significance. In the sanctuary of her bedroom, Ilara stood before the mirror, hardly recognizing the radiant woman staring back. The leotard, a second skin, hugged her nascent curves in all the right places, accentuating a figure that felt, for the very first time, utterly and authentically feminine. Her mother, with deft hands and an artist's eye, had worked magic with the makeup, contouring and highlighting to soften angles, to coax out the natural beauty that had always resided within Ilara's features. "Oh, my honey," her mother breathed, stepping back, her eyes misting with emotion as she admired her handiwork. "You look absolutely breathtaking." Ilara twirled, a graceful pirouette, watching the way the light danced and sparkled off the countless sequins on the leotard. "I feel like me," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "Like I'm finally, truly, on the outside who I've always been on the inside." Tears welled in her mother's eyes, shimmering like dew-kissed petals. "That's because you are. You've always been our beautiful daughter, Ilara. Now, the whole world gets to witness your brilliance too." They shared a tight, shaky hug, both sniffling and laughing at the same time, careful not to smudge the painstakingly applied makeup. The drive to the parade staging area was a kaleidoscope of nervous energy and burgeoning excitement. Ilara fidgeted in the back seat, adjusting the leotard, checking her makeup in a compact mirror for the 10th time. Her father kept glancing in the rearview mirror, his eyes crinkling at the corners with encouraging smiles, a silent testament to his pride. As they pulled up to the drop-off point, a vibrant sea of rainbow flags and an explosion of colorful outfits greeted them. Ilara's eyes widened, taking in the joyful chaos, the palpable sense of communal celebration. "Wow!" Maya breathed, pressing her face against the window, her voice filled with awe. "It's like a rainbow just exploded out here." Ilara laughed, some of the lingering tension melting away like frost in the morning sun. "That's kind of the whole point, you goofball." They spilled out of the car, Ilara's heart thrumming a rapid beat against her ribs as curious glances turned their way. But instead of judgment or confusion, they were met with warm smiles and welcoming waves, a silent embrace from the vibrant community. "You've got this, my girl," her father said, pulling Ilara into a bone-crushing bear hug, his voice rough with emotion. "We'll be right there, cheering you on with every fiber of our being." Her mother kissed Ilara's cheek, a soft, lingering touch, careful not to disturb the meticulously applied makeup. "Remember, head high and shoulders back. You are beautiful and you are so incredibly strong." Maya bounced on her toes, practically vibrating with uncontainable excitement. "Can I have your autograph when you're super famous, Ilara?" Ilara laughed, a light, free sound, and playfully ruffled her sister's hair. "You little rascal. I'll see you guys soon, okay?" With a deep, fortifying breath, Ilara turned and walked towards the gathering crowd of parade participants. Each step felt like a victory, a reclamation of an identity that had been suppressed for far too long. A group of dancers, adorned in similar, shimmering outfits, waved Ilara over, their faces beaming. "Hey there. You must be new." "I'm Serena," a tall woman with a striking shock of electric purple hair greeted warmly, her smile infectious. "Hi," Ilara stammered, a blush rising to her cheeks, suddenly shy amidst the vibrant energy. I'm Alara. This is my very first time. Serena's smile widened, encompassing her whole face. Well, you certainly picked a hell of a debut. Don't you worry, we'll take excellent care of you. Come on, let me introduce you to the rest of the crew. As Alara was swept into the dynamic embrace of the group, her lingering nerves began to dissipate, dissolving like mist in the sun. These people didn't see a boy in a dress or someone to be judged. They saw Alara. They truly saw her, perhaps for the very first time in her life. The parade itself was a kaleidoscopic blur of pulsating music, thunderous cheering, and pure, unbridled joy. Alara moved with the other dancers, her body finding a natural, almost instinctive rhythm. Every shimmy, every twirl, every graceful movement felt like a profound affirmation, a vibrant declaration to the world. This is me. This is who I've always been. From the sidelines, Alara caught fleeting glimpses of her family, their faces shining with uncontainable pride. Her father, a towering figure above the throng, waved a small, rainbow-colored flag with gusto. Her mother, tears openly streaming down her face, cheered until her voice was hoarse. Maya, perched precariously on her father's shoulders, shouted herself silly, her small voice lost in the joyful cacophony, but her enthusiasm undeniable. As they rounded the final turn of the parade route, Alara's eyes locked with her mother's. In that singular, powerful moment, a lifetime of struggle, of self-doubt, of silent yearning, simply melted away. This wasn't just about a parade, or even about gender identity. It was about being seen, truly seen, and loved, fiercely and unconditionally, for exactly who she was. The house, when they returned, was an explosion of streamers and balloons. A "Happy Birthday, Alara" banner, crafted with love and a little bit of glitter, stretched proudly across the living room. Alara, still flushed with the afterglow of the parade's excitement, was immediately engulfed in a warm, suffocating group hug. "You were absolutely magnificent out there, sweetheart," her mother gushed, cupping Alara's face in her hands, her eyes still glistening with unshed tears. "I've never seen you shine so brightly, so truly." Her father nodded in agreement, his own eyes suspiciously moist. "We're so incredibly proud of you, kiddo. So incredibly, overwhelmingly proud." Maya bounced around them, chattering a mile a minute about her favorite parts of the parade, her enthusiasm infectious. Soon, they were all laughing, reliving the day's highlights, the joy palpable in the air. As they settled in for cake and presents, a noticeable absence hung in the air, a subtle dissonance in the otherwise perfect symphony of celebration. Liam's empty chair seemed to mock their happiness, a stark reminder of the one family member who couldn't, or wouldn't, accept Alara's truth. Alara tried to push the thought aside, forcing herself to focus on the overwhelming love that surrounded her. But as she blew out the candles on her cake, she couldn't help but make a silent, fervent wish for understanding, for reconciliation, for her brother to truly see her. The pile of presents yielded a delightful mix of practical and sentimental gifts. New clothes that perfectly aligned with Alara's blossoming style, an array of luxurious makeup kits, and even a gift certificate for a blissful spa day. But it was her mother's final gift that brought a fresh wave of tears to Alara's eyes, hot and sweet. "We've been talking," her mother began, exchanging a significant glance with her father, her voice soft with carefully chosen words. "And if you're ready, my love, we'd like to help you begin hormone treatment." Alara's breath hitched, caught in her throat. "Really? You mean it?" Her voice was barely a whisper, trembling with disbelief and hope. Her father nodded, his expression serious, but filled with an unwavering kindness. "We've done our research, Alara. We've spoken to doctors, to counselors. It's a big step, a momentous one. But if this is truly what you want, what you need, we are behind you 100%. Every single step." Tears, no longer held back, streamed down Alara's cheeks as she launched herself into her parents' waiting arms, her body shaking with profound gratitude. "Thank you," she sobbed, her voice muffled against her mother's shoulder. "Thank you so much." As the emotional moment settled, Maya, with her characteristic innocent timing, piped up. "Does this mean I get to help pick out your new name, Alara?" Alara laughed, a sound light and free, wiping away her tears with the back of her hand. "I've actually been thinking about that. What do you guys think of Cynthia?" The name hung in the air for a pregnant moment, a delicate new bloom. Then her mother's face broke into a radiant smile. "Cynthia. It's beautiful, my love. Just like you." "Cynthia, it is then," her father agreed, raising his glass in a celebratory toast, his eyes sparkling. "To Cynthia and to new beginnings." As their glasses clinked softly, a sudden, jarring sound. The front door opened with a quiet creak. Liam stood in the entryway, looking utterly uncomfortable, a stark figure of unease amidst the vibrant celebration. The room fell silent, the festive air suddenly thick with unspoken tension, crackling like static electricity. "Liam," her mother said, surprise evident in her voice. "We didn't expect you back so soon." Liam shuffled his feet, his gaze darting around the room, pointedly avoiding eye contact with Alara. "Yeah, well, the car show was kind of lame." He finally risked a glance at Alara, at Cynthia, taking in the shimmering leotard and the carefully applied makeup. His expression was unreadable, a complex tapestry of emotions warring beneath the surface. "Heard it was a good parade." Cynthia stood, her heart pounding a frantic rhythm against her ribs. This was the moment she had both longed for and dreaded with equal measure. "It was," she said softly, her voice steady despite her internal tremor. "I wish you could have been there." Liam's jaw clenched, a muscle twitching. Emotions, raw and complicated, swirled across his face. Finally, he took a deep, shuddering breath, as if steeling himself for an impossible task. "Look, I don't understand all of this," he gestured vaguely, his hand sweeping through the air, encompassing the room, the celebration, her. "But you're my sibling. And if this is what makes you truly happy, then I guess I need to try harder to get it." It wasn't a full, resounding acceptance, not yet. But it was a start. A fragile, tentative beginning. Cynthia felt an enormous weight lift from her shoulders, a burden she hadn't realized she was carrying. She crossed the room, her steps light, and pulled her brother into a tentative, uncertain hug. After a moment's hesitation, Liam's arms came up, stiffly at first, then gently, to return the embrace. "Thank you," Cynthia whispered, her voice thick with emotion, her cheek pressed against his shoulder. As they pulled apart, Liam cleared his throat, still a little awkward, still unsure. "So, Cynthia, huh? That's going to take some getting used to." Cynthia laughed, the sound light and free, a joyous melody. "Tell me about it." The tension in the room dissipated, slowly but surely, as Liam, albeit still a little out of place, joined the celebration. It wasn't perfect, there were still awkward moments, still missteps and hesitations. But it was progress. It was hope. As Cynthia looked around at her family, truly seeing each of them, she felt a profound sense of peace settle over her. This was just the beginning of her incredible journey, but for the very first time, she truly believed that everything was going to be okay. The weeks following Cynthia's birthday were a whirlwind of doctor's appointments, counseling sessions, and mountains of paperwork. The process of starting hormone therapy was simultaneously exhilarating and overwhelming, a thrilling plunge into the unknown. But through it all, her family remained a steady, unwavering source of support, a beacon in the sometimes turbulent waters of transition. Her mother accompanied Cynthia to every appointment, asking thoughtful, probing questions, taking meticulous notes, her gaze never leaving Cynthia's face for reassurance. Her father, ever the diligent researcher, threw himself into understanding every aspect of his daughter's journey, his mind alight with newfound knowledge. Even Liam made a concerted effort, awkwardly offering to go clothes shopping with Cynthia. "I mean, I don't know anything about girl clothes," he mumbled, rubbing the back of his neck, his cheeks a faint red. "But I can carry bags or whatever. Be, a human pack mule." Cynthia's heart swelled at the gesture, a warmth spreading through her chest. "Thanks, Lee. I'd really like that." As the hormones began their slow, profound work, Cynthia watched her body subtly transform. Gentle changes at first, softer skin, a gradual redistribution of fat, the tender beginnings of chest development. With each passing week, she felt more and more at home in her own skin, as if her body was finally catching up to her soul. There were challenges, of course. The first time Cynthia ventured out in public, presenting fully as female, she was acutely, intensely aware of every glance, every whispered comment. But with her family by her side, a solid wall of love and support, she held her head high, her gaze unwavering. Remember, her mother had said that morning as they got ready, her voice firm and loving, "You're not pretending to be someone else. You're finally showing the world who you've always, truly been." Those words echoed in Cynthia's mind as they walked through the bustling mall. She caught her reflection in a store window, a flowing sundress, carefully applied makeup, her hair styled in soft, elegant waves. For the first time, the person staring back at her perfectly matched the image she had always held so fiercely in her heart. "Earth to Cynthia." Maya's voice, a bright, cheerful intrusion, broke through her reverie. "Can we please get ice cream? My tummy is rumbling like a dragon." Cynthia laughed, ruffling her sister's hair. "You know Mom said no sweets before dinner, little one." Maya pouted dramatically, her lower lip sticking out. "But it's a special occasion. We're celebrating you being you." "Nice try, Squirt," Liam chimed in, a genuine affection in his voice. "How about we hit the arcade instead? I bet I can still kick your butt at air hockey." As they made their way to the arcade, the lively sounds of electronic games already beckoning, Cynthia felt a profound surge of gratitude. The easy banter, the shared laughter, the uncomplicated joy, this was what family was truly supposed to be. Not just acceptance, but genuine, unreserved love and support. The summer flew by in a beautiful haze of milestones and cherished memories. Cynthia's first tentative swim in a women's bathing suit, nervously tugging at the fabric until her mother gently reminded her that she had absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. The momentous day she legally changed her name, the entire family crowding into the courthouse, cheering as the judge made it official, her new identity etched into law. There were setbacks, too, sharp thorns among the roses. The first time someone hurled a hateful slur at Cynthia on the street, Liam nearly got into a fistfight defending her honor. It took both Cynthia and their father, their combined strength, to hold him back, his fury a raw, protective force. "It's not worth it, Lee," Cynthia had said, even as tears stung her eyes, blurring the angry faces. "They're just ignorant. They don't know any better." Liam had fumed for days afterward, a simmering cauldron of righteous anger, until Cynthia sat him down for a quiet, heartfelt conversation. "I appreciate you wanting to protect me," she had said, her voice soft but firm, "but the best way to fight hate, Liam, is with love and with education. Will you help me with that?" From that day forward, Liam became Cynthia's fiercest, most vocal advocate. He devoured every book she recommended, attended support group meetings as a steadfast ally, and even started a Gender and Sexuality Alliance, GSA, at his college, becoming a beacon of change himself. As summer gracefully transitioned into fall, Cynthia faced a new, daunting challenge, returning to school. She had taken a semester off to fully immerse herself in her transition, to allow herself the space to grow. But now it was time to step back into the world of academia, this time as her true, authentic self. The night before classes started, Cynthia stood before her closet, a battlefield of discarded clothing. Agonizing over what to wear, everything felt wrong. Too feminine, not feminine enough, too attention-grabbing, too plain. A soft, reassuring knock at the door interrupted her spiraling self-doubt. "Can I come in, sweetie?" Her father's voice, a calm anchor, called out. "Yeah, sure," Cynthia sighed, flopping dramatically onto her bed, burying her face in a pillow. Her father entered, taking in the explosion of clothes strewn about the room with a gentle, understanding smile. "Having a little trouble deciding, are we?" Cynthia groaned, her voice muffled by the pillow. "I don't know what I was thinking, Dad." I can't do this. Everyone's going to stare and whisper and, hey, her father said gently, sitting beside her on the bed, his hand a comforting weight on her back. Take a deep breath, sweetheart. Remember what we talked about? Cynthia peeked out from behind the pillow. That I'm not responsible for other people's reactions? Her father nodded, his eyes warm with affirmation. Exactly. You can't control what anyone else thinks or does. All you can do is be true to yourself, to the amazing woman you are. The rest will simply fall into place. He stood, surveying the sartorial carnage with a thoughtful expression. Now, how about we pick out an outfit that makes you feel confident and comfortable? That, my dear, is the most important thing. Together, they carefully pieced together an ensemble that felt both stylish and authentically Cynthia. As she looked in the mirror, smoothing down the soft fabric of her new blouse, she felt a spark of excitement replace the gnawing anxiety. Thanks, Dad, she said, turning to give him a fierce hug. I truly don't know what I'd do without you guys. Her father's arms tightened around her. You'd be just fine, my strong, brave girl. But you'll never have to find out because we're not going anywhere. Not ever. The next morning, Cynthia stood at the grand entrance to the university, her heart pounding a nervous but exhilarating rhythm. She had opted to transfer to a new school, wanting a truly fresh start, a clean slate where no one knew her past. It was terrifying, yes, but exhilarating all at once. As she took her first hesitant step onto campus, her phone buzzed in her pocket. It was a group text from her family, a digital hug from afar. Mom, remember, head high and shoulders back, my love. You've got this, sweetheart. Dad, knock 'em dead, kiddo. We're so incredibly proud of you. Mia, you're going to be the coolest girl on campus. Can I borrow your clothes when I'm older? Lee, anyone gives you trouble, just say the word. I'll be there in 10 minutes flat. Seriously. Cynthia laughed, a warmth blooming in her chest, chasing away the last vestiges of fear. With her family's unwavering love buoying her, a powerful, invisible shield, she straightened her spine, took another deep breath, and walked into her future, finally, gloriously, truly herself. As the semester progressed, Cynthia found her footing, both academically and socially. She joined the campus LGBTQ+ Alliance, finding a vibrant community of peers who understood her journey, who celebrated her existence. Her professors were largely supportive, with only a few minor hiccups as they adjusted to her new name and pronouns, quickly corrected with gentle reminders. One particularly memorable moment came in her introduction to women's studies class. The professor had assigned a personal essay on gender identity and expression. Cynthia poured her heart and soul into the paper, detailing her journey of self-discovery and transition with raw honesty and eloquent prose. When she got the paper back, she was stunned to see not only a triumphant A+ emblazoned at the top, but a lengthy, heartfelt note from her professor. Cynthia, thank you for sharing your story with such honesty and eloquence. Your courage is truly inspiring, and your insights into the complexities of gender are invaluable to our class discussions. Please consider submitting this to the university's literary journal. Voices like yours need to be heard, far and wide. That night, Cynthia called home, bubbling over with excitement to share the incredible news. As always, her family's enthusiasm was infectious, a joyous echo chamber of support. Oh, honey, that's absolutely wonderful, her mother exclaimed, her voice thick with pride. I always knew you were a talented writer, my love. Does this mean you're going to be famous? Maya chimed in from the background, her voice filled with childlike wonder. Can I have your autograph now? Cynthia laughed, the sound light and carefree. I don't know about famous, little one, but it feels good to have my voice heard, you know? We're so proud of you, kiddo. Her father's warm voice came through the speaker, a comforting rumble. Not just for the grade, but for having the incredible courage to share your story with the world. There was a brief scuffle on the other end of the line, a playful tussle, and then Liam's voice, bursting with brotherly pride. Hey sis, that's awesome. But, you might want to give that journal a heads up that they're about to get a flood of submissions. I may have just bragged about you all over social media. Liam. Cynthia groaned, but she couldn't keep the wide smile from her voice. "You're impossible." "Yeah, but you love me anyway," he shot back, his voice full of teasing affection. As the call ended, Cynthia felt a familiar, comforting warmth in her chest. No matter what challenges she faced, what obstacles lay ahead, she knew, with an unshakable certainty, that her family would always be there, cheering her on, a constant source of strength and unwavering love. The weeks flew by, a blur of stimulating classes, intense study sessions, and the blossoming of new, cherished friendships. Cynthia found herself thriving in ways she never had before. For the first time in her life, she felt truly comfortable in her own skin, free to express herself without the suffocating weight of fear or shame. Of course, there were still difficult days, moments when dysphoria hit hard, or when a thoughtless, ignorant comment from a stranger stung more deeply than it should. But Cynthia had developed a resilience she never knew she possessed, a quiet inner strength that surprised even herself. She had learned to lean on her formidable support system, her family, her friends, her therapist, and to practice radical self-care when things got tough, nourishing her spirit when it felt bruised. As the semester gracefully drew to a close, Cynthia received an unexpected, thrilling invitation. The university's LGBTQ+ Alliance was hosting a formal winter ball, a glittering celebration, and they wanted her to give a speech about her experiences as a transgender student. Initially, the idea terrified her. Speaking in front of a large crowd, sharing her most personal struggles, her most intimate journey, it seemed an impossible feat, a daunting mountain to climb. But as she thought about it more, truly considering the profound impact, she realized what an incredible opportunity it was, a chance to potentially help countless others who might be struggling with their own identities, feeling lost and alone. The night of the ball finally arrived, shimmering with promise. Cynthia stood before her mirror, barely recognizing the elegant young woman staring back. She wore a flowing, midnight blue gown that highlighted the subtle curves of her body, her hair styled in an elegant, sophisticated updo, strands framing her face like a soft halo. But more than the breathtaking external transformation, it was the newfound confidence shining in her eyes that truly took her breath away. A soft, anticipatory knock at the door broke her reverie. "Cynthia, are you ready, honey? We don't want to be late for your big moment," her mother called out, her voice filled with an almost palpable excitement. Taking a deep, steadying breath, Cynthia opened the door. The look of awe of pure, unadulterated pride on her family's faces brought fresh tears to her eyes, hot and sweet. "Oh, sweetheart," her mother breathed, reaching out to cup Cynthia's face in her hands. "You look absolutely radiant." Her father cleared his throat, blinking rapidly, his eyes suspiciously moist. "My beautiful daughter," he said, his voice thick with a profound, overwhelming emotion. Even Liam seemed momentarily at a loss for words, a rare occurrence. "Damn, sis," he finally managed, a genuine admiration in his voice. "You clean up good." Maya, as always, cut through the powerful emotion with her boundless, infectious enthusiasm. "You look like a real-life princess. Can I be your lady-in-waiting, Cynthia?" "Please, please, please." Laughter bubbled up from Cynthia's chest, a joyous, free sound, dispelling the last of her lingering nerves. Surrounded by the tangible, unwavering love of her family, she felt invincible. Whatever challenges the night might bring, she knew, with absolute certainty, that she could face them, head-on, with grace and strength. As they arrived at the ball, Cynthia was overwhelmed by the magical transformation of the university's gymnasium. Twinkling fairy lights hung from the ceiling, casting a soft, ethereal glow, creating a truly enchanted atmosphere. Couples swirled across the dance floor, a vibrant sea of glittering gowns and sharp tuxedos, their laughter echoing through the air. "Cynthia, you made it," a familiar, excited voice called out. It was Jamie, one of her closest friends from the Alliance, resplendent in a shimmering, glittering gold suit that caught the light with every movement. They rushed over, their face alight with happiness. And this must be your incredible family. It's so wonderful to finally meet you all." As introductions were made, Cynthia felt a powerful surge of pride, a deep sense of belonging. This was her world now, a place where she could be fully, authentically herself, surrounded by people who celebrated that authenticity, who cherished her for who she was. The evening passed in a delightful whirl of dancing, heartfelt laughter, and deeply meaningful conversations. Cynthia watched with amused affection as her father, with his characteristic dad moves, awkwardly attempted to learn the latest dance steps from some of her younger friends, his face a mixture of concentration and pure enjoyment. Her mother, with her warm, magnetic personality, charmed everyone she met, her laughter echoing through the hall. But all too soon, it was time for her speech. As Cynthia made her way to the stage, a momentary flutter of panic, cold and sharp, seized her heart. But then she caught sight of her family in the cheering crowd, her mother and father beaming with uncontainable pride, Maya giving an enthusiastic thumbs up, her small face alight with adoration, and Liam, his gaze fixed on her, nodding encouragingly. A silent promise of unwavering support. Taking a deep, fortifying breath, Cynthia stepped up to the microphone, the warmth of their love radiating around her like a protective aura. "Good evening, everyone," she began, her voice, to her surprise, stronger and clearer than she had ever expected. "A year ago, I never, ever could have imagined standing here before you all. I was lost, struggling deeply, trying desperately to reconcile who I knew myself to be with the person the world perceived." As she spoke, sharing her intensely personal journey of self-discovery, of acceptance, of the arduous, but ultimately joyous path of her transition, Cynthia felt a profound weight lifting from her shoulders, a burden she had carried for so long. She saw heads nodding in the audience, saw tears in the eyes of those who recognized their own struggles, their own unspoken pain, in her honest words. And so, to anyone out there who's questioning, who's afraid, who feels utterly alone, Cynthia concluded, her voice ringing out, clear and true, filled with a newfound power, know this: you are seen. You are valid. And you're so deeply loved. Thank you. The applause that followed was thunderous, a standing ovation that resonated deep within her soul. As Cynthia made her way back to her family, she was stopped again and again by people wanting to thank her, to share their own stories, to offer heartfelt words of support and admiration. Finally reaching her family, Cynthia was immediately enveloped in a warm, comforting group hug. No words were necessary. The overwhelming love and pride radiating from them said it all, a silent symphony of affirmation. As the magical night wound down, Cynthia found a quiet moment alone with her thoughts, a space for reflection amidst the fading music and laughter. She thought about the long, winding journey that had brought her to this incredible point. The struggles, the fears, the moments of profound doubt. But mostly, she thought about the incredible, unwavering love and support that had carried her through every single step, a constant, guiding light. Looking out at the dance floor, at her friends and family still laughing and dancing, without a care in the world, Cynthia felt a profound, deep sense of peace settle over her, a quiet contentment that filled her to the brim. This, she realized, with a joyous certainty, was where she belonged. This was who she was meant to be. This was her beautiful, authentic life.